What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the GhettoRig podcast, guys. For those who don't know, my name is Eddie. This is my co-host Jay, and behind the camera we've got Mickey controlling all of the technological stuff.
On?
Right. Right now I'm just setting my watch. I forgot to do that before we started, so sorry about that. But yeah, we got a bunch of stuff for you guys. Don't forget Vitality Wellness Center and as well as the UFC Gym, our two official sponsors of the GhettoRig podcast, guys. Right now you got to make sure to get locked in with those rates ASAP because they're gonna start going up. I'm pretty sure while I was off today, my day off, they already probably went up. So I couldn't even tell you what the prices are. I'm pretty sure they're more expensive. But you gotta get in there before it gets to the full price, man. Because by the time the gym opens, it's gonna be Mac Daddy. So reach out to me if you guys are interested. Besides that, Jay, what you got for us today?
First and foremost, I would like your official apology for not making it to jiu-jitsu today, for being a lazy bum and not showing up. I'm gonna hold you accountable to it.
No rest days. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, he can have a rest day on a Saturday. He can have a plenty of rest on Saturday. Jiu-jitsu is a lifestyle, bro.
Even if
You
you're
won't
in
get
there.
an
It's not a
apology.
hobby.
You won't get an apology for that, Jay. You want me to say sorry for not going to jiu-jitsu today?
I want you to apologize to the gods of jiu-jitsu for not showing up today. You don't have to apologize to me. Apologize to yourself.
No, I think I was good.
Lazy
to
bum.
jiu-jitsu
Official hashtag lazy bum, guys. Flood that in the chat. Lazy bum hashtag.
Jiu-jitsu Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'll go Sunday. That's 4 times a week.
That sounds like a quitter to me.
Like a quitter to me. No,
Yep.
quitter is the guy who got behind the fucking camera. That hasn't been jiu-jitsu in like
Yeah,
4 weeks.
I gave up on him.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
You know-
insulting me is not gonna
Yeah,
work.
our producer Miggy is like, you know how there's always a one happy family and there's always like that one black sheep that everyone gives up on. Like you're titter tottering on the line of that right
Damn,
now.
Jay, that's how you feel?
Yeah.
Damn,
Black sheep.
It's crazy.
Yeah, he's a white sheep for right now, but changing colors, great. It's going to gray right now.
That's racist.
Uh-huh. Hey, you call it what you want to call it, but you show up on time to jujitsu, okay? It's a lifestyle. Gods have been not treating us well because you're not there. Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
directly impacting us.
So you
I've been
need
doing pretty
so
well.
you need my bones as a sacrifice.
Well, yeah, you got to jump on the same bandwagon because you didn't show up today.
For one day.
Yeah, one day is a day. That's how it starts.
No,
Hey,
no.
that's how you start shooting heroin.
No.
One day it's heroin, one time. The next thing you know, you're shooting it up every day.
No, man, that's not how it works. Because I didn't go last week that same day for the same reason. But I still went Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
You're not
So
convincing me.
nothing to prove.
You're not
You're not convincing
Hey,
me either.
you don't have to prove anything to me. You prove it to yourself. It's about you.
I will say, Jay,
Yes.
you're very insistent. Have you ever had like a sales job?
Persistent, you mean?
Yeah.
No, but I hold my friends accountable to everything.
No, so no sales job.
No, I've had sales jobs before, yeah. I don't particularly like it. But also the sales job that I was in was a very competitive market, right? It was merchant services. Basically credit card selling the
Mm.
credit card services like the
I had a
machine.
friend that I think he did some stuff like that for PayPal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar, but majority of people will go to PayPal Square or they'll go to their local bank to get it, and this is a third party that comes in, even though
Also, they do have third party stuff other than the major
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So the way it works,
Isn't like Verifone one of them?
yes, Verifone is Verifone is the name of the company that makes the machines,
Yeah.
but they also have their own service. But majority of the time, it's the banks, and the way this works, I think First Data was the original processor that started the entire credit card processing industry, and everyone was kind of buying it from them, and then they kind of built their own networks. I think there are other companies that do that as well. So now you can be a third party processor that go to First Data and say, hey, listen, I want to open a merchant services, I want to route it through you. How much money are you going to charge me for that? And then you go out to the world and you say, okay, I'm going to charge you this much to have the merchant services.
So
But
it's
the-
almost like opening a franchise.
Yes.
Like under McDonald's, basically.
Yeah, but the way merchant services work, it's very, very interesting. Like every card that you have on hand, every time you slide that card, the merchant, the person that's selling you something, has to pay a fee, right? But that fee is different per each card, or it could be same, right? To make it easier, you know how you get points
Yeah.
and like cash backs? It's because the person that sold you something is basically paying for those points. Makes sense? So if you have a, let's say 1.5% cash back, those cards, when you slide them, they're going to go at a higher rate, right? And merchant services, the way they set up, that usually what you will see is a 3-tier system, like at 1.25%, 2.5% or 3%, and then 4%, right? And different cards go into those tiers. So if there's not a lot of points attached to it, it's going to be low. If there's no points, it's on the bottom. If there's hella points, it's on the top, right? But then third parties can come in and say, listen, instead of me doing like that all-encompassing tier system, what I'm going to do is whatever Visa and MasterCard are charging for their services, I'm just going to tag 0.5% or 1% on top of that, and I'm going to give you the service. So overall, when you do that, when you have high ticket items, let's say you're selling something above $10, $15, it's better to go that route because you're paying less in fees.
True.
Right?
Yeah, there's a whole entire fucking system to this.
There's a whole fucking system to it. So it's very complicated and convoluted system. But the biggest problem with that is most people don't want to hear it because none of the shit is sexy. None of these numbers are sexy, right? They want to hear, are you going to save him money? Okay, good. Are you a reputable company that's going to save him money? And majority of the time, people hate merchant services because they have to pay a fee, and it's another fee. When you come in and say, okay, there's this, you got to buy a machine, or I'm going to give you a machine for free, this, that. People do not like to deal with that shit because you usually sign them up for a contract. It's a 1-year contract, right?
Yeah, people don't like contracts. I'm not a big fan
They
of
do not.
contracts myself.
They do not. No
Anything
one likes
that
to be tied
anything
down.
that has a contract, I'm just like, I don't want it.
Yeah, no one
I
wants
feel
to
like
be tied down.
there's like strings involved. You know, it's like almost like they're trying to fuck you somehow. Like,
Well, they want to make sure you're going to stay there. Because what usually happens when somebody doesn't have a contract, someone fucks up, they never go back to them, right? This gives them an opportunity to prove that, okay, we fucked up, but we can fix it. Just stick around with us and we'll fix it. There's always problems. Like, no one is perfect, right? No matter what business you
I
run,
think it
it's
has
never
all to
perfect.
do with competition.
Yeah.
Find something better, you can't switch because you're stuck with something.
Correct. And when you come in and say, okay, well, a month you're paying, let's say $600-$700, right, on your merchant services, I can cut this in half. Now you're gonna pay only $300. That's big for a lot of people, right? Like, what do you mean you can cut my payments in half? Yeah, well, your bank's been lying to you. What do you mean my bank's been lying to you? But they're so nice to me there. Well, that's what banks do. They gotta make money. You know what I mean? So it's cost of doing business, right? At the end of the day, usually works a little bit better with small.
You're being called out for going to Supremacy over hanging out with us at the UFC
Um,
gym.
The only reason I go there is because you bums don't show up to that gym and there's no one there for me to roll with. So if you all came, I would gone too. So yeah,
Did
don't
you
call me
go?
out. At least I go. Yes, I did.
You went today, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay,
course.
we didn't go. You still had to got the roll, right?
Yeah, there was a bunch of people there.
Okay, there you go.
No, I did one roll only. I didn't get to roll.
Why? Oh, because you had to
night
come
time,
over
yeah.
here. Yeah. That's...
sounds like a you issue, brother.
Well, at least went.
What's okay?
Sounds like a you issue, brother.
Showing up is the 90% of the job.
That's right. Coming's not.
Well, for some women, yes.
Not true, Emily said.
Not true. What part is not true? But yeah, so yes, I've done a sales job, but why you were asking me like about the sales job?
You try and be very persuasive.
Yeah, I read this was one of those like B2B where you would walk around and like just either set appointments or like go in.
I hate appointment setting. Appointment setting is
terrible,
so
man.
annoying, dude.
You want to get used to rejection? Try to set appointments, bro. It's so bad.
You're not wrong.
Trust
there.
me.
You're not
That's
wrong.
what
bad.
that's what my job consists of right now, is setting appointments.
Yeah, so bad.
I'm not a big fan of that feeling.
Yeah, the rejection. No one likes the rejection.
Yeah.
No one. But you get desensitized very quickly when you
That
walk
doesn't
in.
bother the rejection. That doesn't-
It's not
I mean,
even.
it's just annoying when like you pick up the phone, like, yeah, I'm interested. Like, all right, let's set an appointment so you can come in. Like, oh, I don't really want to. Everyone's so like allergic to that word.
That's what I was
appointment.
just about to
That's all it
say.
is.
Yeah, because they're always feeling like they're getting entrapped. Like if you can gain their trust, I don't even know what you would say, or like, there's different ways in sales techniques to gain someone's trust. But majority of the time people are like, oh man, I'm really not good under pressure. I usually cave and buy something I don't need.
I mean, for me, the appointment thing is like the only reason I would be so hesitant to set appointments because I'm very forgetful.
Yeah.
Right? Like my life is on a very day to day basis. Like for like what's it called? The other day I was telling my manager like, oh, he's like, oh, call and confirm all your appointments. I was like, okay, well my appointments are until like 4 p.m. If it was me that someone called me at 10 a.m., I still might forget at 4 p.m. I'm like, I'm gonna call like 2 hours before, not 5, 6 hours before.
Yeah.
Because that's just like comparing me. I guess just me trying to be small minded and think like I'm like everyone else,
You
which
can never
isn't
guess.
true.
You
Which
can
is
never
never
get.
true. Yeah, you never know. Like some people I don't even have to confirm. Sometimes for example, I actually had an appointment that was for today on my day off, and I didn't get to confirm with them because I wasn't there at work. But they came in and I got someone took care of it for me. But
Who was it?
I don't know the person. Who do you mean who wasn't?
Oh, you don't know who the person was?
It was this guy named Chris off of Instagram. It was just a random like Instagram lead that I got. But I'm just saying like I set the appointment and never got to call and confirm, but he remembered and he went in. Like I'm not that kind of person usually,
Yeah.
especially like unless it's like a doctor's or dentist appointment, then I'm like setting reminders and stuff. But for something like going to check out a gym or to make an appointment, I'm gonna forget, bro.
Yeah.
Personally, that's just me though.
Yeah, that's given, we're busy in our day, running around, and a lot of times it's not malicious. You just forget. You're just thinking about other things.
Not like I wouldn't want to go. I'm just saying I would more than likely forget.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Like you can't really guess whether the person is gonna be like you or they're gonna be more like give me 5, 6 hours. That's why
Exactly.
you call them whenever it's convenient for you.
Right.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily devise a strategy for it or something like that, but
I get what you're saying because you never know.
exactly, you never know. So you do it when it's convenient for you and call it a day. But we do have a couple of articles for you guys for today and some news. Trump is getting his nose wiped in the courtrooms. Bunch of people coming out saying it's good. Bunch of people coming out saying it's bad. So there's been a lot of controversy with him. Tulsi Gabbard. So Miggy, can you look up Vegas odds?
Vegas odds.
Vegas odds for VP. So Vegas odds for VP. So Vegas bets on everything, right?
Yeah, you can go bet on everything over there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So you go ahead. U.S. presidential election, Republican VP nominees. So Tulsi Gabbard is number 2 to be the VP.
Well, no number. She's not number 2 because plus 450. These guys that are, she's number 8.
Tulsi Gabbard, number 2.
No, because the higher the number, the more likely the odds on a plus.
No,
so
the higher the number is the least likely. So if they actually went, if you were to bet,
oh,
you
right,
would win
right,
more
right,
money.
right. So I'm thinking minus when you're minus
Yes.
something.
Yeah.
You're
So
the
Tulsi
favorite.
Gabbard is
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Tulsi Gabbard is second in line. Basically, to give you an idea about Tulsi Gabbard, she was a Democrat. She actually worked on what's that guy from Vermont? The glasses. Anyway, Bernie. She worked on Bernie's campaign. She voted for Joe Biden. She has personally came out and said that she does not like what Trump does or how he's doing. And then
She's kind of bad.
yeah, she's pretty cute. And then and then when Hillary was running, right? She pretty much came out and said, "I no longer can support the Democratic." She was the head of DNC. She comes out and she says, "I no longer can support Democratic Party," and switches her political affiliation to Republican. So all of her friends call her and pretty much tell her, like, you understand that you made a. She's from Hawaii. You understand that you made a like career suicide right now, right? Like if Hillary wins, you ain't getting a single fucking penny for that state, right? And she's like, I understand, but I cannot follow this. So she basically switches her political affiliation, and now she's number 2 in running for the VP. She's also she was a military veteran. So we'll see. There's some controversy behind her as well. She has met with Trump. She was actually the first, when Trump got elected, first female plus Democrat that actually met Trump in a Trump Tower in New York. So we'll see what's going on. Which I was pretty surprised because she's number 2, right? Because Tim Scott is number 1, obviously. But
do you think she'd be a good vice president?
She could be a good vice president because she does not. If Trump gets elected, she doesn't agree with Trump 100%. Which I think.
So you think she's gonna be able to keep him in check?
if she does become a VP, number one, I think Trump would, for his political campaign, he would need to have a woman as a VP, right? Because Roe
His whole
v.
motto is grab him by the pussy. Why would that help?
It was model was not by grabbing by the pussy. First of all, that wasn't his model. But the point here is that he was directly. You can tell that he was directly responsible for overturning Roe v. Wade. Roe v.
Roe
Wade.
v. Wade.
Roe v. Wade.
Oh, we found a power struggle.
Yeah. So he was directly responsible for that, right? So if he does want to win some of the women votes, because the number one question right now young women or any women have in their mind is abortion, is number one on their list, right? So if he wants to win some of the female votes, he has to bring in a VP who's a female, number one, and number two, he has to bring in a female that's not necessarily 100% aligned with his values, right? So I think it would be a
Do you
good.
think that's what he needs, or do you think that's what the people want to see?
I think that's what he needs because it's pretty clear cut.
I don't think he'll do that.
I think it's pretty clear cut who's voting for who, right? There's the MAGA side, and then there's the people that are flip flopping in between, and then there's the like.
When you say
left.
MAGA, are you talking about just regular Trump supporters, or are you talking about extremist Trump supporters?
So there's extremist Trump supporters, which is MAGA, and then you have extremist left supporters, right? Which are Biden no matter what, right?
Sure.
And then you have in between there are Biden supporters, Trump supporters, and then you have the middle that's been flip-flopping a lot, right? But these people would pretty much know what the breakdown is. The biggest vote that's out there that they need to win is single childless women under 40 years old. That's the vote that they have to win. That's what's going to sway the election.
Not anything else. No minorities.
No minorities, none of them. This is pretty clear cut. Who's going where? Single childless women
And is that solely because abortion has become a recent big issue?
Yes, because it was given to the states from the federal government. It was delegated to the states, deal with it, pretty much type of deal.
And I believe that the state law for Florida preventing the sale of is it anti-conceptive?
No.
Anti-conceptives?
No.
It's coming up soon. The effect of it. No?
No,
I thought
because
I'd read something about
he
it.
passed, I think, a 6 weeks bill where you can, after 6 weeks you cannot have an abortion, but prior to 6 weeks you can. Where he came out and said that he was going to go against Title IX. DeSantis basically tweeted.
Okay.
Yeah, DeSantis tweeted that he's going to go against Title IX. Which they want to redo Title IX, and he pretty much came on X and said, we're going to fight that. We're not going to let this happen in our state, right? So, 6 weeks abortion ban into law, yeah. So, which means if it's after 6 weeks, you cannot.
Damn, that's not, like a lot of girls don't even know they're pregnant within 6 weeks.
Shit. I can't
well,
even complete a fucking college assignment in 6 weeks.
Yeah, so the biggest issue, you're right about that. The biggest issue is because of our obesity problem, there's so many factors into it, a lot of girls might not know what's going on because not everybody gets their... Huh?
At 6 weeks, you're not going to show.
6 weeks if you miss your period, bro, within...
Oh, no, so, I mean...
6 weeks is way past a month.
I've seen periods be a couple weeks late.
That's my point.
Like that.
That's my point. Because there's so many hormonal issues right now in our society that could be a deterrent. That could be like a, like a stick in the tires, right?
And also some girls I've heard still bleed in early parts of pregnancy.
Don't know.
So that's another thing. I might be wrong there, but from what
I
I've heard,
I don't know. I don't know much about pregnancy to know, but I do know that Florida is 6 weeks, right? Now I've heard of bleeding. Yes, even when they're pregnant, I've heard of bleeding. Due to sex.
Bleeding and
stuff like
spotting is common. Up to 25% of all pregnant women.
So a quarter of them.
But that's it's not like a regular. My understanding is not like regular period. I think it's more like spotting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. But spotting also can happen, I think, during their ovulation stage and stuff like that. So that could also still make them believe that they're not pregnant. You know what I mean? So
correct.
That's why I think maybe 6 weeks, maybe a little, not little, too. I think
Correct.
it's too early.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you need to give them a little more time.
Correct. So I think if you're gonna do that, every person has their own moral quarrels about it.
Mm-hmm.
Where should it be? You know what I mean? At what months and how many months and how many weeks? I think it should be left um up to the woman to decide what she's doing. Up to the woman and a man. I think they both should be involved in that decision what they're gonna do, right? Because ultimately both are on a hook for that child, right?
I think
Uh,
it's really more on the girl though. If the girl
Well,
doesn't
by
want
law,
to
it is. Yeah.
if the
By law,
girl,
it
if
is.
the girl doesn't want to have the child, then you just shouldn't have the child. She's the one that has to carry it.
Yeah, if the girl doesn't want to have a child, she's the one that has to carry it, so on and so forth. And I understand that, I completely understand that. But also, I also think that a guy that wants to have the child, I mean, you know,
Yeah, but if the girl doesn't want to have a child with you, that probably means that she doesn't even really want to be with you at the end of the day.
that
Well,
is
that's
true.
true.
But then a lot of people would say, well, I don't care, you don't want to be with me, just give birth and then I'll take the child as a father.
Well, she's still got to go through 9 months of
It's just a
pregnancy. Then, yeah.
crazy. It's just
Well, that's what I'm saying.
it's just
It's
a
a
crazy
it's a
idea.
off
It's a
scenario that three guys talking about it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, majority of the time, it's gonna be the opposite, right? Where the guy doesn't want the pregnancy,
Right, that is
and
gonna
she
be the
does,
most
and majority of the
majority.
time, it's usually a gold digger situation where she's trying to get basketball money or some kind of money. You know what I mean? That's usually the situation there.
Mickey,
But
you got any good questions for us today?
yeah,
Or you been lacking
Uh,
on the questions lately?
No, I've been lacking on the questions, but I did see a really cool car on the street the other day. It was a old Japanese little. It was one of those little campers. And it was
Okay.
called. Hold on, I took a picture of it on the road. I didn't think I was gonna have enough time to take a picture of it. Oh, I have so much work shit here.
Emily's still calling cap on your supremacy shit.
A Grand Cabin G.
Grand Cab. I don't know what the hell that is. Look
Look
at
it up
us.
here.
yeah. This is Emily. This is about not going to jujitsu at all. Instead of you choose this versus
Oh
that.
shit!
It's not going at all.
I've never seen one of these
So I
things.
saw one of these little things. Apparently, they're like they seem to be imported because
It's a
on the one-
Toyota.
Yeah.
yeah, the one that I looked at on the street still had Japanese markings on it.
Was it right hand drive?
It was.
Oh, so it was an actual JDM.
Yeah, it was cool. On the left side, he had a skeleton on it. So it was kind of freakish because it was like shit. The
I wanna
first
know
thing that
what
you
it-
would look to the right, you wouldn't expect a skeleton.
Yeah, I want to know what it'd be like to drive right hand drive in a place like ours that is meant for left hand drive. Like you can't go through drive-throughs. You have, like I've seen a bunch of memes of guys that have like GTRs, like old JDM GTRs. They go through the drive-throughs backwards, so they can like be able to pass the money back and forth or whatever it may be.
Wait, what do you mean they can pass?
They have to go through the drive-through backwards because their cars on the right-hand side. They drive on the right-hand side, so if they go through a drive-through to like reach over and like hand money and to
that's
grab the fruit,
true.
Yeah.
I did not think about that.
or like ATMs, you want to
How
drive
do they
through an
do
ATM.
that in
It's
Japan? They just
backwards.
put the other
It's
shit
flipped.
on the other
It's
side.
flipped. In
It's
Japan,
flipped.
everything is
The
flipped.
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I did not think about that.
Think about it. In Japan, you drive on the
That is an
left-hand
off
side.
scenario.
On the left-hand side, you make your left-hand turn into the place. You would go instead of the speaker being on the right-hand side of the building, be on the left.
That's a
You
pretty
go
big
around.
downside of owning one of those cars.
Well,
Owning them here, yeah, for sure.
there's three countries, right? England, Japan, and Australia, and there's
There's
I
a
think,
bunch of other
bunch
countries
of little
that were,
islands
yeah.
and shit that you can do as well. But the major
Probably
three
some
countries.
of the old Soviet countries used to be like that. No,
No.
they were still right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Majority of the world is right-hand drive, and we drove that actually. My brother and I, when we were in London, we rented a car.
Right.
It was weird. Like first 30 minutes were pretty weird, man.
you had
yeah.
to be on like on
And
edge,
it was a
right?
stick. And it was a stick. So it was like
It's a
And
lot.
is the H pattern still the same where the
Yeah.
first is all the way to the
no,
left?
no, no. It's
It's close to you.
yeah.
The H
I
pattern
think,
flips.
I think it was. I don't remember. Don't quote me on this. I don't
I
remember
don't think
exactly.
so. I think it's still like would be just like it would be in our cars here, where the first gear would be all the
Do
way
do a
to the-
right-hand drive manual transmission.
Right
Well-
hand drive manual.
Don't even do that. Put right hand drive H pattern.
I already wrote it.
Here, pull up. We'll see what it says.
Yeah, it still has the first all the way.
But that's how my S2000 was with the thing on that side. It wasn't close to me.
Oh,
That-
they just
that's
put
not
they put the reverse to the other side though. You see what I mean?
Well, no, reverse on mine was like that. Reverse
Oh, yeah?
varies. Yeah, reverse varies.
Yeah, I thought that just depended on the
Yeah,
car.
click on that guy that's holding the stick shift down, one down.
Yeah, it's still the same, Jay.
Yeah, what does it
It's
say?
still the same. First is all the way to the left.
Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so there you go. That answers the question.
I thought it was still the same. That'd be weird though, driving it like that.
On the
downtown.
left.
Yeah, because you're using the left hand, not the right hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, fuck that.
At least it's still in the same order. You know what I mean? Like they didn't.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know. I feel like that would be if they would have flipped it and made it.
but
maybe
my right
easier.
hand is
So
my dominant
left-handed-
hand, so I'm gonna be more prone to use that hand to stick shift because it's you're doing a lot more.
So that
No, because then you're leaving your right hand on the steering wheel.
does that mean that left-handed people
You
have a passive advantage in those countries
Why?
because they're
I
left-handed?
don't think so. No.
Everything just
No.
works
I
a
don't
little bit
think so.
better.
I think you just get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think you get used to it.
Driving,
And if anything, you're right.
driving manual with left hand, that sounds weird.
No, you just get used to it. And I mean, also now I'm thinking about like Formula One cars. They had it back in the day. They didn't have paddle shifters, right? And they had to reach down in, and it was on the right.
Yeah, because as I said, it took about 30 minutes, and my brother was
Used
driving
to
it normal, no problem. The craziest thing was coming up to the circles, the roundabouts,
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's the other way. So when we
Must
pulled
be
up the
weird.
first roundabout,
And
we're
they have
like,
a lot of
"Oh,
roundabouts
what the
in
fuck do we-"
countries like
in,
that.
Yeah, in England, hella roundabouts.
Signals. That's another thing in countries.
Oh
There-
yeah,
there's
going
some-
up to it.
there's
I
some
bet
weird
going up to
fuck-
that first light felt so weird.
Yes, and it you don't have to go far. Each state has different fucking like they're pretty much about the same throughout the United States, but each like for example, I think it's South Carolina or North Carolina, you cannot take a left turn. You got to make this little loop-de-loop to go left from the right.
I'd be so confused. I'd cause
It's
some
it's
fucking-
confusing,
I'd
bro.
cause some
It's confusing.
fucking
Some states have some
traffic jams.
confusing rules. Yeah.
I saw you posted some Formula One news, Jay. I just
Yes, I
Formula
did.
One.
I did put
Did
some.
you? So there.
But before
looks
you go
like,
to Formula One, he was talking about that camper. Pull up that camper that I posted, the VW camper.
Good luck trying to find that.
It's in a chat if you want to go on there. It was basically saying that they've designed a new VW camper, and I wanted to get your opinion on it. Since
we
we're
already
talking
we already
campers,
looked at that.
The
We
camper?
talked about that on the pod before.
we have.
I think so. Just do a Google search. New VW camp. New VW van, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a van, yeah, but it's a camper.
Or bus, really is what it is.
No
yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this one
Yeah.
before. The ID.
Yeah. We talked about this.
But it's a This one is not a camper. The new one is a camper. They designed a camper.
So put camper.
Yeah. That.
That's sweet. It looks like
It's the same. It's the same car. It looks like
It
right,
looks
but
like,
it's just.
it looks like a slightly upgraded Odyssey.
Yeah. Yeah, click on the white one right there. Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it looks nice.
It's pretty legit,
Still a Volkswagen, but hey.
I don't know how I feel about RV and campers, dude. Like, it'd be kind of cool to own one, but at the same time, I probably wouldn't use it much. And over time, the deterioration inside those things, if you don't take care of it.
So this was a big thing. Not so much anymore. I've been seeing a lot of it. Younger people would just get like those Mercedes and sprinters and then make campers out of it and just live out of it.
I've seen
Especially like nurses
seen
that
a
would
lot of
travel and
them.
things
You know
like
who
that.
does that? Wee Man from Jackass.
Yeah.
He lives out of one of those.
I see them often a lot
It's
downtown.
like a full size house for him though.
Downtown St. Pete, they park a lot by the beach
Yeah.
and in the Minoy Park area.
Bro,
as
you
well.
should see it when it's like Rolling Loud or something comes around downtown St. Pete. That entire area, the tennis courts and everything, it's all campers, bro.
Rolling
All-
Loud.
Yeah.
Rolling Loud
Is it-
doesn't come to this.
No
area.
Rolling Loud. There's a not Rolling Loud. There's a reggae fest.
Rise up.
Yeah.
Rise up. There you go.
Have you guys ever been in like a camper or an RV? Anything like that?
My grandpa has one in his backyard that he bought, and he supposedly bought it because he wanted to go around.
Yeah.
and take it.
But you never been in it or
That-
like gone out with him or anything
I've
like
been
that?
in it. I haven't gone out. in
So, when I first got with Emily, they had an RV. It was a trailer, not RV, sorry. It was a trailer camper.
Yeah, third wheel.
So, you'd have to hook it up to his truck and stuff, but we took it down to Sarasota to like this big, basically like a camper
Campsite?
town. Yeah,
Yeah.
camper town that had like a lake in the middle of it with like a pool, with a rec center and stuff like that.
Sweet.
It was
Citrus.
pretty
Was
cool.
it sweet citrus? Bunny?
That's the type of camping I don't mind doing. You know what I mean? When you got a like camper RV, but the one that you got to put the
He
fucking
says.
tents down and
He
all
says,
that
"I
shit,
like
man.
traveling, but I don't like camping."
No, the camping with
'Cause
the
you're
car
not
where
you're,
you have the showers available, bathrooms available, things like that, I
that's not
do
really
enjoy.
camping.
Not
It's not
that
camping.
as
No,
camping as it's gonna get for me.
no, it's not. That's not camping.
That's what I'm
Have
saying.
you
You
guys
don't like
ever?
camping. You like
Have you
traveling.
guys ever been actual camping?
Yes, I've been once and I hated it every
I
single
I would
second.
I would say that living in Cuba in and of itself was a pretty good camping experience.
Damn, so I'm going camping in a couple weeks. when I get over there. No, but camping's fun. I remember one time in DR we camped on a beach. It was okay. It was nice. I
Yeah.
like it. I mean, especially like if you're gonna go fishing and do a bunch of things, and you're on a beach where you can go in. I mean, the beach water is not like washing off, but at least you have some kind of water
Where's your shit?
in the woods. What do you mean?
Yeah, no, see? That's an immediate no for me.
What?
Why?
You never took a shit in the woods?
I like the comfort of my bathroom. I like my
Why?
throne. I like my throne.
Gay.
How is that gay?
Back in
Be manly, dude. Take a shit in the woods.
back in
You
Lithuania.
never taken a shit in the woods?
Back-
I'm taking a shit in the
I was
woods.
gonna
Okay,
say.
then.
I don't like it.
You feel like someone's gonna come up on you? You like a
No,
dog
I just
in a vulnerable
I feel
state?
very vulnerable.
I'm gonna out
But
myself.
vulnerable to what? What?
Hey,
I don't know.
I'm gonna out myself a little bit here. I'm gonna out
What, you can't
myself.
just get up and
Mosquitoes. I
run?
don't fucking know.
No, like,
I'm gonna out myself a little bit here. But have y'all ever cleaned your buttholes with plants?
no. Paper,
No?
bitch.
Well,
Even if
Plants,
it's-
you mean like leaves?
Even if it's newspaper.
It was popular for some kids in Lithuania. They would shit in the woods and wipe their ass with
Yeah,
plants.
dude. You
Oh
just pick
my-
up like
nah,
whatever
nah.
big leaf
Yeah,
you
do
have and just
nothing.
wipe that ass.
Can you imagine if
Yeah,
you don't
dude,
know
nothing.
shit from shit and you pick up poison ivy?
Mm-mm.
If you
Boy.
didn't know,
Yeah.
you got
Yeah.
Ron in the chat.
up, Ron?
man?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure.
Ron is he's big on camping. They'll go.
I
They'll
thought
go.
you were about to say Ron's big on taking shits in the forest.
I was
He
waiting
is.
for it
He
too.
loves doing that shit. But he'll go out and they'll go out on an island or something like that, and they have actually they have a pretty makeshift system. Like it's this 5 gallon bucket that they put like a little bag in it, and then they put a noodle that's
Pool
cut
noodle,
full
yeah.
noodle on top, so it's comfortable and
You
whatever.
know what's one type of camping that I never did that I wanted to do before the boat and I never got to do it? Just going out on an island and just spending a night there.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Just a night. Nothing more. Because it's probably going to drain the fuck out of you. Just sitting in the sun or even just sitting by the beach. All that salt water.
You know,
hitting
we
your
just had
face.
that conversation with him. Going to the beach, I don't like going to the beach. Like if it's just me or another person or maybe another, like 3-4 people, it's like kind of okay. But like going in a group is different because you can like you're moving, you're talking, you're doing stuff. You know what I mean? But if it's just like 2 people or 3 or 4
We
people, it
love that
gets
shit.
real
Island
boring.
camping is fun.
Yeah, he does that. Yeah, they do that a lot. They do that a lot. There's actually he had a funny story where he shit and the shit floated back to the coast.
Oh, very
What,
nice,
did,
Ron.
did he meet it back?
You were that guy, huh? You were. Emily's dad did that once too when they were like out on the boat or something like
We
that.
have a video of Kenny taking a shit in the back of Jack's pontoon boat, and he's just like, oh.
You know what I really like talking about? I really like pontoon boats.
Really?
The reason I like them, because you can get like up to 11 of your best friends on a fucking thing. You can get a speaker on there. You can get a bunch of coolers with food and stuff on there. Like you got a little table in the middle. Like
There's positives.
It's like
there's positives and negatives. So the thing about pontoons is I've had a bad
Ron's taking a
experience.
shit right now.
I've had a bad experience with pontoons, but we took a wave.
I've had a bad experience with pontoons as well.
We took the wave.
Why
in
are
the
you telling the story? I'm
pontoon.
gonna shut off the live.
We took the pontoon, we caught a wave, we go up on the wave, and as we go down, the boat just sinks down under the wave, and it goes all over inside the boat to the point where the pressure of the water collapses the plate on the side. So where the door is, where you come in through,
Yeah.
it got fucking like bumped.
Damn.
And when we got to shore, we tried buffing it out a little bit, but nothing. It still fucked it up.
So I have a bad story on a pontoon, which actually happened. We went to like Rainbow River or something like that, and we rented this pontoon, and the gasoline gauge was all fucked up. Apparently, the pontoon had no gas.
You never knew on the gas.
And yeah, so we were trying to get to the spot. We were struggling a lot to like read the map that they gave us on how to get to the certain spots that you can kind of park and hang out at. And so we got stranded, and we were stranded out there in the sun for like 5 or 6 hours. And where we got stranded, the water was disgusting. So it wasn't like you could
You
get
couldn't even
down
get
and
in
chill.
there.
Yeah, you couldn't even chill out. Like I remember, I think me or my dad like were the only ones who like, fuck it, it's hot. We just jumped in to like get fresh or like dipped our hands in like our heads or something like that just to, bro, because it was hot as fuck. It was really really hot.
Pontoons are cool. They can carry a lot of people. It's a lot of fun, but it's not good under any type of bad weather.
Right,
It,
not at all.
it will
Bro,
fuck
actually,
you
I've seen a
up.
pontoon almost flip over, so it was hilarious. We were in, me, Emily, and her brother and her brother's family were in his boat, right? And we were going, and Randy and his boat is coming behind us, and then there's this pontoon. It's causing this fucking traffic with another boat, all this shit. Anyways, I think Randy or some other boat was trying to get passed by and leaves this huge wake for this pontoon. And I swear to God, this pontoon almost flipped, bro. It almost flipped straight up. I was so worried that something was gonna happen. It was sketchy. Can be sketchy.
It was funny. It was a funny moment because when it did happen, I remember that we went under the wave. We all started looking around at each other like, put on your life jackets type of look. And then the water started going out because Jack started reversing the boat. So it kind of stabilized it a little bit. And I screamed, woo! Just an adrenaline dump. Like if I was at a fucking
That's funny.
Busch Gardens ride.
I don't know. We were talking about this the other day, and I would like to have a boat when I'm older. I'd like to buy a boat.
Eventually, I mean, especially in the area that we live in, I feel like it's kind of a you gotta get a boat.
Right.
If not a boat, a jet ski.
Yeah, and this is the thing.
I personally, if I do buy another boat, which is not gonna be anytime soon,
right.
it's probably going to be something like a flats boat or something like that. Something a little skiff, nothing crazy.
Exactly. Like a little Carolina
just
skiff.
to get out on the water.
Right. I would love something like that. I mean, of course, if I could afford it, I'd get something bigger too. But if I can, I'd get something like a nice little 19, 20-footer flats boat just to go out and have some fun. Not like do nothing crazy. Just go like take out a few friends and Emily to do something nice. Not nothing wild. Fucking trying to go out crazy. I mean, it'd be nice to have a big boat and be able to go 10 miles out and fish every time you want to go fish. But that's a
lot of money.
That's not a cheap boat.
It's a lot of money. And then you got to pay for the gas, and then you got the insurance, and then you have to maintain it with the oils and stuff like that. You got to maintain the engine.
Well, the boat you had, was it a 2-stroke or 4-stroke?
It was a 4-stroke. It's a brand new engine. It was very nice. Just the wiring was all fucked up.
Hey guys, before we go to the next article, please like and subscribe this video. It helps us a lot. Share in your group chats and whatnot. Do us a solid. Again, Vitality and UFC Largo. If you do want to sign up, hit up Eddie because these memberships are running thin. They're running thin and the prices are going to go up. It's not a maybe. It's a definitely going to go up, right? So get in there. It's not just the prices, membership costs and things like that. Everything goes up. Everything, right? So get that in there.
What was that F1 article he posted? Because I was just thinking, I saw today that they posted that Adrian Newey, which is like the guy that's from what I know is like head of aerodynamics, I think, which is where Red Bull thrives, is in the aerodynamics, and he's gonna be leaving the team from what everyone's talking about.
So my brother sent me this Instagram picture. It was Verstappen's wing, and what's the guy's name? His
Checo.
The
other driver.
I think it was Checo. I think it was Checo.
Perez, yeah. Checo.
Yeah, I think he did Perez. So the back wing on Verstappen's back wing, it's got a little cutout, which means the wing is not as big. What Perez is bigger. Even with less downforce, Verstappen was faster in the corners, in and out, than Perez was.
Sounds like it's a skill issue.
Yeah, big time.
Well,
like a different, not an issue, different skill difference for sure.
They signed Checo for another year, I think. So he's not losing that seat.
So
which I think is smart for them. Why not? He's P2 constantly.
Ferrari announces historic new deal as Fernando Alonso lifts lid on Aston Martin dynamics. F1 News Roundup. So go ahead, Miggy, just read a little bit about this.
Wednesday's F1 News has landed with a lot to get through as the grid welcomes a new team name, sort of, through a new title sponsor deal for Ferrari. Alongside that, there's a plenty more besides to get into from the day, so without further ado, let's stretch straight in. Welcome to the F1 grid. Yes, having confirmed they will revive two shades of blue for a part of a one-off livery for
Yeah.
the Miami Grand Prix.
That's for Ferrari.
Ferrari confirmed a historic multi-year title partnership with HP, which will also see the U.S. tech giants become a part of the team's name moving forward.
Yeah.
The sponsorship will be officially unveiled ahead of Miami weekend.
Keep going to the next one. Keep going to the next one.
Fernando Alonso and Aston Martin dynamic with Lance Stroll, with Aston Martin team principal Mike Crack having acknowledged in China that the whole project has been centered around Lance Stroll in a way. Fernando Alonso has spoken about the way the two drivers work together for the benefit of the team. Lance and myself we are trying to help the team as much as we can, he said. I think we have two different driving styles in some conditions. We have two different feelings with the car. I think Lance is a lot more sensitive to things than what I am, which is very important for the team. I think the analysis that Lance can reach and can feedback to the team is crucial to us and to improve the car.
And he's a veteran. He's a F1 veteran, right? So
Fernando's been racing for over 20 years.
Yeah, over 20 years. Update on Carlos Sainz future from his manager.
Carlos Sainz's manager, Carlos Onyoro, has said he and Sainz are still playing the game when it comes to deciding over his future, with multiple teams still in discussions over his services next season. A few, he told the F1 Nation podcast when he asked how many balls have you got in the air at the minute. Let's say it's an interesting period of time at the moment. The driver market has been all over the place lately, and I think we will see some movements in the upcoming weeks, but for the moment, the juggling continues.
Man, I don't know where Carlos is going to go at this point.
Stefano Domenicali bites back at drivers' calendar complaints. Formula One CEO Stefano Domenicali had a withering reply for drivers who had complained about the demands of the ever-growing calendar, with a 24-race schedule having been repeated for 2025. I speak with them. If you want to drive, you can drive every day.
So 24 races, that's basically 2 races a month, right? And they have to travel for all this. And these are different time zones. So by the time you get used to one time zone, now you got to get used to another time zone, because they're not like, we're not going to start with this time zone and then slowly move over to the other time zone where you only have like 1 or 2 hours to get used to, right? It's all over the place. So the time zones are a big deal.
Yeah, I saw that run. So yeah, Nico Hulkenberg is going to sign with Audi. Audi's coming in. I think it's next season or 2026, one or the other. I think it's next season actually. This will be the last season for what's it called? This will be the last season for Williams. Williams is out. Audi's going to be coming in. I don't know. I don't see where Carlos. I don't think he's going to be looking at one of the top teams. That's for sure. At this point, I mean, who the fuck is that?
No, just continue.
He's gonna show me that and be like nothing. I don't know. I mean, at this point, what the Mercedes seat is open, right? Who's taking Lewis's seat? There's nobody in that seat yet, but I don't know.
Pundit believes in half of the field does not belong in F1. Former Bridgestone engineer Keeps van der Grint has not been complimentary about Lance Stroll and Zhou Guanyu's F1 presence, though does not think a significant portion of the grid are up to scratch as it stands. I have often said, I don't understand why he's still running, he said of Stroll.
Cool. So that's the news so far, because there's a lot of controversy. Everybody kind of want to know what's going on in F1. And if you follow in F1, here you go. That's the scoop for as far as we know. But let's move on to some watches. What do you think about this watch? So Credor watch is a high-end watch brand that's owned by Seiko. And the cool part about
they're replacing Sauber, not Williams.
And the cool part about Credor was the guy that's basically in charge of the design and everything went and studied, I think, for like 5 or 10 years in Japan, how to properly paint Japanese ceramic, right? You know, they have those like Ming Dynasty vases and stuff like that. You've heard of those, right? So the proper technique. So it's all hand done. These are high-end, extremely expensive watches. So there's this Credor that was introduced. It's a Credor Iichi, I think, right? Yeah, there you go. Put one up.
That's Chinese, Japanese.
Yeah, so Ming Dynasty was the China, but Japanese porcelain vases. Yeah, it's pretty similar. So yeah, so this is all done by hand. So if you go to Credor watches, you'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, so go down.
This is a porcelain dial.
Yeah, it's a porcelain doll.
This one.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think?
It's
Give
a
me your
pretty cool
opinions.
looking dial, but I'm not a fan of the watch as a whole. Um, I don't know.
I like the simplistic approach. I don't like that it's so simple.
It's almost too simple for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like it doesn't have anything. It's just a watch.
It doesn't. It doesn't. The
It's just a
It's
dial.
just a dress watch, really.
yeah, main selling point of this one, it's a dress watch. It's extremely thin and it's all
Gold, right?
handmade.
It's gold.
Yes.
It's gold. If you go down, I don't know if they're gonna show the movement. Yep, there we go. That's what it looks like from the back.
The movement looks
To me,
nice.
it's pretty intricate. You know what I mean? There's that. See, there's that full charge indicator
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Full charge indicator.
On the right hand side, you see that little gauge
Oh, this
that
right
goes
here?
from F to E.
Oh,
So that's
That's cool.
pretty cool.
looks like a little
And then
fuel
what
gauge.
makes a
Yeah.
good watch a good watch? One of the indications of a watch being good, you see those screws? That's another. This
Talking
this
about
is
these
like
right
a
here?
leftover. No, around the no out. Yeah, right there. Those screws right there.
What
Right
about
there.
'em?
Those screws are basically what ties it down, right? Most cheaper watches, they're just a press-ons, and then you have the screw-ons, and then you have the bolts, basically, right? But yeah, so this is the watch that they just released. But can you do Credor?
In typical Credor style, the markers are manually painted onto the dial before firing. After firing, they are then opened with another hand-painted application of gold. The same technique is applied to the Credor crest at 12 o'clock, another new element for the commemorative edition.
Look up Credor as a whole brand. I want to see some of their other watches.
And go to images. So this is here. You'll see that white dial. This is that Ming Dynasty painting that I'm talking about.
So was the other one. It's also porcelain painted dial.
Yeah. But that was painted with gold.
No. The hour markers.
Hour markers.
The dial is a porcelain
Mhm.
dial as
Yeah.
a whole.
But so do you see how thin it is? Like the watch itself is thin. Obviously, this is a mechanic watch, which means it's hand wound. You have to wind it by
I will
hand.
say, I'm a lot big. Like I like that white.
White is nice, yeah.
That one's really nice.
I'm not a fan of them at all,
Mhm.
actually.
So this is basically a value proposition.
I wouldn't
this-
say I'm a fan, but I like him a lot more.
Is
Yes.
this all they have is these watches?
I believe so.
They've
It's
had-
the only collection that they have here.
They've had different kinds throughout the history, but this is currently what they produce. So this is a value proposition as far as between Patek Philippe Coltrava, Jaeger LeCoultre, or however the fuck you say it, the thin one, right? The basic Langonzone, basic one. So this is an entry level suit watch, right? That's the best way I can put it.
What's the
Entry
price
level
on one of
starting
these?
at what price?
They're usually, it depends, but I've seen some of the older ones you can scoop one up a full gold at like 10K. Older vintage ones, but the new ones are probably close to 20. Cuz that's the market, right? They're going for. Yeah, so yeah, see some of those older Credor watches? They have made watches before that are different, you know what I
Right.
mean? Except now they're kind of sticking more to that yeah, to that
So
style.
that one's 60 grand.
60
But that's
grand.
aftermarket, right? That's aftermarket
That's a
price.
starter.
That's aftermarket. That's aftermarket because of the rarity of the watch, and what it means in a watch community. It is 60 grand, but they're not that expensive when they first come out. If you can get your hands on it, obviously, it's just depends on demand, right?
So what are you thinking? Like 10 grand,
20,
20
close
grand?
to 20, 18 to 25.
I don't know. I haven't seen a single watch here that I'm a fan of.
Yep.
How long has Seiko been doing these?
For a while, man. There's been a brand for them. There's been a part of their
That is
arm for a long
ugly.
time. Like this goes down to quartz times. You know what I
can
mean?
see
This is
that.
an ugly fucking watch.
It is, but remember when this was designed back in the day, these were really cool. See, that one is kind of like the Alpinist. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That one's cool.
Yeah.
I want to get that white. They have this white dial Alpinista. It's really nice. It's like
Yeah.
a special edition one
Mhm.
that you can't really find. I also saw a perpetual calendar Alpinist GMT the other day. It was like a mod
Mm-hmm.
watch that someone made. It was titanium. It was a Alpinist with a compass bezel. It was a GMT and it had a perpetual calendar.
Mm-hmm. Go to the next article. Let's see what we got on the docket next. Okay, so 10 of the best four-cylinder sports cars in history, and I want to get your opinion because these are most likely going to be Japanese and American and German, right? So number one comes in at Porsche 718. I do agree with this. I think it's one of the best four-cylinder cars out there.
I'm not a car guy, but Porsche, Porsche. So.
Yes, Porsche is a Porsche even in Africa. Mazda Miata.
Over time, I guess you can list this as one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They've been pretty consistent. Mazda's been very consistent in producing these two-door Mazda Miatas, right? Like
People like them.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Honda
get bought.
came in.
And
Honda
buy
had,
them.
yeah, Honda came in. They had their Del Sol. They discontinued that. Then they brought the S2000. They discontinued that. Toyota had their MR2. They discontinued that. Now they brought back the Supra again as a two-door, four-seater. Porsche always had their 718s, but Mazda has been always designing their MX-5. They're close to about 40 grand fully loaded, I think. Then you have Toyota GR86 or Subaru BRZ.
This is one that I agree with. This is a good pick.
GR.
You think this is a better pick than the Porsche?
No, not a better pick. Well,
Oh.
for the price proposition, maybe,
yeah.
but because the Porsche is going to be triple the price.
Yeah. Porsche's probably going to be close to
GR86,
100K.
that's a newer car, right?
Yes.
So it used to be called the G8 something else. It wasn't GR. It was the older spec one. They was the 86 something. But yeah, they've been making them since
So Scion used to have one, Toyota used to have one, and Subaru used to have one. So they all share the same exact platform with minor design
GT86?
changes.
yeah, that one GT86.
Mm-hmm.
The new version they called the GR86, but it's the same car.
Same car, yeah.
Just how the GR86 shares the same
And
platform
GR
as the
stands for
BRZ.
Gazoo Racing.
Just how they share with the BRZ, they share the same thing now.
Alpine A110. I think this is, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is based on Lotus, Alpina. Alpina's always been one of those micro brands that's been producing cars. I remember Alpina since I was a kid, right? So they've been producing it
I've
for a
never
while.
Not Alpina, Alpine. It's
Alpine.
different.
I've never heard of it.
Alpine, it's Renault's sports line.
It's a European brand, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
We've got the Alfa Romeo 4C.
Alpine or Alpina is the same thing.
No, it's not the same thing.
Read it. Read it like a foreigner.
Alpine.
Mhm. Alfa Romeo 4C.
So you have
El Pene.
Alpina, right, with an A,
That's a modification of a BMW.
and then you have Alpine.
Yeah, but as a foreigner, you read it as a Alpina.
No, that's a
It's
different
just
car,
like
bro.
foreigners will not say ketchup; they'll say ketchup.
No. No.
Yes,
Well, man.
You can't just blame it on bad accent, Jay.
it's not a bad accent; it's the way you pronounce
I'm
it. I
saying
didn't
they're
pronounce it
different.
correctly.
They're different things, and Alpine is the way you pronounce it.
Yeah, Alpine, but that's a BMW modification you put talking
To be
about.
fair, Jay,
Alpina
you
is
did
it.
just say how a foreigner would say it.
Yeah. Anyway, doesn't matter. Alfa Romeo 4C. Alphas, they've been making their cars for a minute now, so
I don't know if you would
why
put
are they
this down
good?
as one of the most
Why are they?
legendary.
Why,
I
why,
wouldn't.
why are they good?
Alfa Romeos.
Yeah.
It's a baby.
It's a
Ferrari.
two-door, two-door four-cylinder sports car that's good for the track. So,
but not very fast.
yeah, not very fast.
KTM Expo. God damn, this is like the
Slingshot.
slingshot taken
Yeah,
to a whole
just
nother level.
Four tires.
Looks cool.
Does look cool. Ariel Atom 3S. That
Looks
one
like a
looks cool. It's
fucking
like
Mar-
driving
It
an F1 car. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Like
not
that would be
even, dude.
legit.
It looks like you're fucking in what's Rocket League.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think this thing is even fucking street legal. So
You think the KTM Expo?
I don't know if it's
Frozen?
I don't know if you can import it to United States. I know you
weighs
probably drive it in
1450,
Europe.
Packing a 2.4 liter Honda Source turbo.
That thing would be super fun to
that
drive.
produces
Yeah.
365
horsepower, bro?
horsepower
This
and
thing can move.
10 pound-foot of torque. That means the Atom 3S is even lighter than an F1 car. Imagine how responsive it is. How much is this thing?
Probably close to 100K.
doesn't say.
With
And you can get an even better one that comes with a 3.0 liter V8 producing 500 horsepower,
507 horse. Did
and
you
it's
be?
even
And it's
lighter.
lighter.
I feel like you'd have the Tokyo Drift song at all times.
So Lotus, I've always liked Lotus.
The design of Lotus is really
Is
cool.
super nice. But the problem is when you get sit down in Lotus, bro, it's like literally like the seat is only about like not even 10 inches off the ground. So you literally like sit on the floor.
Well, it's a sports car,
Yeah.
man.
And they're super light. It's all aluminum frame. So Honda S2000, I do agree, is one of the best four-cylinder cars out there. Well,
Was
still was until this,
yeah.
if and when they produce it. And then you have Integra, Type R. Yep, very, very iconic. And that's that.
How did we choose this vehicle? Lists like this one inevitably lead to disagreement simply because there are way more than 10 great four cylinders. Yeah, that's absolutely right. But I think you could have picked one better than that fucking, like, for example, the fact that you're putting an Alfa Romero, a 4C versus something like a Evo.
But Evos are not four-cylinder, two-door sports cars.
Oh,
Evo is
two-door,
more
right,
Evo is more of a passenger car.
right. I mean, everything on there was two doors.
Yeah. Because I thought about Ford Focus and
Mazda.
That's two-door, yeah.
yeah, Ford Focus and all of them. They were all two-door and two-seaters basically, with the exception of GR and BRZ.
But yeah, those all two-door cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Yeah, it is.
girl.
They could have listed the old Impreza
Yes, they could
because
have.
that motor was around for super long.
Mm-hmm. So this guy's been making moves.
This guy
Javier Milei
fucking
fuels wild rally that
crazy.
makes peso #1 in the world. So he's the new Argentina's president. He's very libertarian. He came in and basically like, we're gonna slash the budget of the government. What is this? Like Minister of Culture? Afuera, afuera, afuera. And he's just like throwing shit away. The funny part was he meets Elon Musk and they have a conversation, right? About whatever. And then after the meeting, he goes back and he breaks up with his girlfriend. I don't know what happened during that conversation. And it's like everybody's blaming Elon Musk for him breaking up with a girlfriend. But can you read a little bit more to see what they mean by peso as the #1? So he's Argentinian president, Argentinian peso. They're talking about.
Javier Milei fuels wild rally that makes peso #1 in the world. The peso is key to Milei's push to tame soaring inflation, but the economic pain from fiscal austerity is mounting. And we read more if Bloomberg didn't.
Oh, Bloomberg wants his money, huh?
Communism.
Started
Fucking.
checking some of these articles. So.
Well, usually when I post them, because I have an ad blocker, so it doesn't show me, but it'll come up 99.9% of the time. So I was hoping it's one of those. But anyway,
Next.
Javier Milei is very interesting character.
You guys talked about the guy that lit himself on fire?
Huh?
No?
No.
What? I thought this is big news.
Well, pull it up.
This guy,
Someone lit
during the
himself
Trump
up.
trial, I think it was in New York, this guy lit himself on fire and killed himself.
For what? What was his protest?
I don't know. He just didn't like Trump and killed himself. I don't know how.
He didn't like Trump and killed himself?
Yes, hold on.
Trump
Let me
is
look this
in
up.
deep
I thought
shit
this
right
was
now.
big news, guys.
I think he might have jumped the gun on this one.
I think
Well, I might have jumped the fire on this one.
for
No pun
Palestine.
intended.
Wait, no, this is man sets himself on fire outside NYC.
You read the news,
courthouse.
don't pull the video.
I mean, he doesn't have to show the video.
Well, no,
can see it.
because it would be faster if we just
Man
read it.
died
You know?
after setting himself on fire outside courthouse where Trump trial is being held. A man who set himself on fire Friday outside the courthouse where former President Donald Trump's hush money trial is taking place has died, New York City police said early Saturday. The man whom police identify as Maxwell Azzarello of St. Augustine, Florida, wow, what a disgrace, bad rep, was in the designated
Florida man.
protest
Florida
area
man.
outside. No time of death was given by police. He was declared deceased by staff at the hospital where he had been taken. The NYPD said. NYPD Chief Department Jeffrey B. Madry told reporters that Azzarello walked into the center of the park, shuffled around his clothes, opened a backpack, and took out and threw numerous pamphlets on the ground. He then pulled out a canister, poured a liquid accelerant on himself,
Gasoline.
lit himself on fire, fell on a police barrier, and then fell on the ground. Police said the man entered Collect Pond Park across the street from the courthouse at around 1:30 p.m. before setting himself on fire. Bystanders, court officers, and police used coats and fire extinguishers to try to put out the fire and help him. Madry said. It appeared to happen around the time that the jury for Trump's trial was fully impaneled, with 12 jurors and 6 alternates selected to sit for a trial that's expected to last about 6 weeks. It occurred just before the court took a lunch break. New York City Fire Commissioner Laura Kavanaugh told reporters that Azzarello was taken to the burnt unit at Weill Cornell Medical Center, where he had been described as alive but in critical condition. 4 police officers and 1 court officer sustained minor injuries from dealing with the fire, Kavanaugh said. Chief of Detective Joseph Kenny said Azzarello was born in 1987 and arrived in New York City earlier in the week. He said that the family members police were in contact with after the incident were unaware that Azzarello was in New York. Kenny said Azzarello's pamphlet seemed to be propaganda-based about Ponzi schemes and conspiracy theories. Police said they don't believe Azzarello was targeting any particular person or group. Law enforcement deployed a bomb squad search team just in case. Deputy Commissioners of Operation Kaz Daughtry said, and no devices were found in the area. 3 law enforcement sources told NBC News earlier that the man appears to have been a follower of some conspiracy theories and may have had emotional issues. He may have posted his intention to set himself on fire in advance, the sources said. A moment after setting himself on fire, the man was lying on the ground, burning. At times he appeared to seize. Police tried to use a small fire extinguisher to put the fire out, but were unsuccessful. While still on the fire, the man tried to sit up. Police then used a large extinguisher to put out the fire. So they were using a small one. The guy got up and they said, fuck it. 73-year-old man from the Upper West Side, Dave, watched it happen. That sounds like so casual. Dude was just sitting. Oh, look, he was just watching. Dave said the person threw up a bundle of pamphlets, picked them up, and threw them again. I heard this clattering, he said. That caught our attention. Then he pulled out a can. David said he saw the man begin to douse himself in something before taking out a lighter. There, I thought, this could be awful, he said. I'm old enough to remember the Vietnam War. He said the person then set himself
Old man got fucking flashbacks, PTSD.
and was quickly engulfed in the
2 lights were ruined that day.
The person didn't make a sound as people around him looked on horrified.
Jay, would you be a good Samaritan if you saw someone trying to light themselves up? Would you go and stop them?
No.
I think I'd be like,
No.
what are you doing? Like,
You wouldn't like try and stop someone. You just
What are
let
you,
them
they're
do it?
already on fucking flames. Like,
No. Like if you saw someone like about like
oh, if
before-
they're about to do that and as they pull out the light, I'd knock it off their hand. But that's as far as I'm going.
But if they're like you see someone like with a can of gasoline, you're not gonna go over there and try and stop him from lighting himself on fire.
Choke him out for a couple of seconds.
if you just get close, he brings out a
But what if
lighter.
you like
Not in state of New
What?
York. Not in state of. I wouldn't do it in state of New York.
no?
No, because they would. Then he would sue me for stopping him from whatever he wants or using excessive force.
Fuck it, do it.
Yeah, state of New York is a little
People
fucked
like
up.
think about it, man. You get a choke on this guy and you got your hooks in,
And then,
and then he pulls the lighter out. and
Another
both
one?
you- and then both of you guys are
Nah,
doused
man.
in fire. And
you do you, boo.
and-
You do you, boo. If you're gonna be that selfish and you're gonna leave a bunch of loved ones behind, then you do you, boo.
UPS and FedEx find it harder to replace gas guzzlers than expected. What the fuck is a gas guzzler?
a car
they're-
that uses
yeah.
gas versus electric cars.
The path to electrification by the package delivery giants is critical to the U.S. President Joe Biden's transportation climate goals. Achieving that aim is hampered by battery shortages that are limiting EV supplies and keeping prices high, and by startup electric van makers that are running out of money and shutting down. The question is how many of those companies will be here in 5 years, 10 years? Luke Wake, UPS's vice president of fleet maintenance and engineering, told Reuters, in a double whammy, UPS and FedEx are also losing access to California's vouchers that help defray EV prices that can be about 2 times higher than traditional delivery trucks. UPS and FedEx obtained some relief from EV supply constraints when trendsetting California, the epicenter of electrification, put on hold a rule that would have required them to purchase electric delivery vehicles exclusively starting this year. An industry group whose member
Can you
include
look up some
UPS
real
and
quick?
FedEx. What's up?
Can you look up how many cars does Amazon have? How
You know, I
many
had a
delivery
I
cars
had
does
a
Amazon?
FedEx guy piss me off the other day.
Yeah.
They were delivering some stuff to the office, and we have a furniture store that's right next door. And he's like, man, this stuff is heavy. And Manus is calling me, Eddie, come help the guy with the boxes we got, whatever. And I'm helping this dude. It's 2 big ass boxes. Or sorry, one of them is really big. I help him put it on the dolly, and the other one's like not that big, maybe the size of this table, but it's pretty fucking heavy. I lift that shit up and bring it inside by hand, and then it wasn't our boxes. I fucking broke my back for this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he brought the boxes in the wrong place. And then next thing you know, the boxes that were ours were like this big and they were this flat.
So
It was
look,
like little posters.
Amazon has 279,000 delivery drivers dropping off 20 million packages a day, right? So let's say a car gets used by two drivers. Let's say let's say three different shifts, right? Let's be conservative. So that's leaving them at about 80,000, you would say 90,000 cars, right? 90,000 cars. That's technically not 150,000 like they were saying, but I've been seeing more and more Amazon electric vehicles.
Yeah.
So Amazon is able to do this, but UPS and FedEx are talking about not able to do this. To me, that just sounds like we don't want to spend the money and hurt our bottom line. That's why we're not buying these cars, and we're going to blame the supply.
So it's more expensive for them to do it. If you really think about it, Amazon has a Patreon system where they're funded by the people.
Well,
UPS,
Is
USPS, FedEx.
funded by Amazon.
Who?
USPS, FedEx,
and
UPS. Yeah, they're basically majority of their business is Amazon. You know what I mean?
So,
USPS not so much because they do deliver your
so
daily
what
mail
are we
and
getting
whatnot.
at then? I mean,
I'm getting at an idea that they are making money, right? Because Amazon's making money. I'm not saying
yeah,
they're
we
nowhere
know that
near
Amazon's
as
making
profitable.
there's a reason why he's a billionaire. And
I think it's
he's
just
in-
easier
in
for
the
Amazon
top.
to spend the money.
That's what I'm saying. So they don't mind spending the money because they're bringing money in, and because they have money, they're spending it. But these guys are saying, "Oh, well, it's going to be difficult. There's
And they
supply
have
chain issues
multiple.
and
They
things
have
like that."
multiple platforms.
I-
What does UPS and FedEx have?
Right.
No, I get it, But what I'm trying to say, I think it's one of those things where back in the day, the excuse was, well, we cannot bring chip cards because it's a undertaking, and a lot of people need to change to chip cards. The chip cards came to Europe like 5 to 10 years before we received them, right? And the whole excuse was like changing these machines and doing this and doing that. And I think it's just one of those things again where they have the money, but they don't want to hurt their bottom line. So they're like, well, my stock price is going to go down if I report that we spend a little too much, right? Even though that's where we're going to. So what it looks like that the Biden's plan is not really going to play out because they're just going to keep pushing it back for a couple of years on anyway, we'll see what's going to happen with that. Every human alive today originated from African country, study finds. So this is talking about the sub-Saharan Africa and back in
Didn't we know this?
yeah, back in the day, they all kind of migrated. And I was thinking about it the other day. You know how the continents are kind of connected to each other? They had to have migrated from Africa through Europe, through Asia, right? And then back up through Alaska where it's cold, and then came down to United States and all the way to South America. Now, question is, who do you think got first to the land? South American people that took South America as a place to live, or the ones that were in Australia?
Took longer?
Yeah, who do you think
Probably
might have
South
taken
Americans.
longer? South Americans, you think? Yeah, I don't know, because with Australians they would have to island hop until they would finally get to Australia. You know what I
Right.
mean? But anyway, and then I also read a very interesting article. It's actually gonna come up. I posted it. So I thought this article was very interesting. It's very, very long, but it's a super interesting article to understand. So if you go to the other article where it was like fire and all kinds of things, um, that article is pretty freaking
I saw
interesting.
this cool video the other day. I posted it in the chat just now
That one right
of
there.
the thought of behind unpredictability,
Mm-hmm.
which is an interesting video. We can look at it after this.
First ever supercomputer simulation predicts when humans will become extinct on Earth, right? So they're talking about 7 billion years, 7.5 billion years, where sun will actually eat our planet, right? Like basically incinerate our planet. But the prediction the computer gave is about 250 million years, which let's say in 100 years you got 3 to 4 generations. You're talking about 250 million divided by 100, looking at a million, so you're looking at about 4 million generations before this even happens. And the idea here was that because of tectonic plates, our world is going to look different, and I think they call it Pangea. That's like the plate Pangea Ultima, I think that's what they call it. It's in the article.
What do you mean?
The-
Pangea was the name of when all the continents were together before.
Yeah, so because of tectonic shifts after 200 some years big. I think they call it Pangea Ultima, basically the last one, until like the temperatures are so high that people cannot survive. Talking about 40 to 50, sometimes going up even higher, where most people will die off, most animals will die off because they can't properly sweat and regulate temperature, right? And you won't be able to grow anything. The water is going to pretty much dry out. So go look up Pangea Ultima, what they're predicting it would look like. And then
Right there.
more eruptions and things like that. Yeah, there we go. So Pangea Ultima, they were saying that this is what's going to look like. Um, so that's kind of interesting, no?
This is what they think all the continents will go back together after they already separated
That's what they're
once.
saying, yeah. That's what they're saying. That's they're saying
So they
because
think
of
the
the
world is
tectonic
a
plates.
slinky.
Pretty much. Yeah.
They've only separated. Why the fuck would they come back?
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. They were already all together, according to original Pangea.
I mean, if they could just fucking move, but
But
eventually, wouldn't we just have a bunch of small islands?
well, according to them, no. According to those tectonic plates, no.
Maybe they're racist.
Also, apparently,
So they all separated. Like, I don't like this one, and then once they all got so far apart, now
Like I miss them.
now our tectonic plate is starting to get so close to like the Asia side. They're like, no, that's even worse. Let's go back this way. They're just racist.
the sun eventually eating up the sun. How
Of the Earth,
How is that?
eating up
How
the
is
Earth.
that? How is that happening?
The planet would get so close to the sun that sun would literally like incinerate it. They will melt it.
Yeah, but I feel like we'd die way.
Oh, we would be dead way
Before
before
that.
that. Yeah, wait. That's 7.5 billion years they're predicting, but the extinction by the computer was designed at 250 something million.
Millions, probably.
Million,
Oh my
you know
God,
what I mean?
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's a big fucking difference. Like this is basically gonna be a fucking just deserted island. But another cool thing is they found these spiders, bro. Like I think on Mars, if I read that correctly.
What?
Yeah,
Spiders on
Yeah,
Mars.
like-
We're gonna have to look this shit up.
yeah, spider-like things on Mars. Yeah, there you go. A spacecraft captures images of spiders on the surface of Mars. Here's what they really are.
The ESA said in a news release that one of its Mars Express orbiters captured images of the spiders, which are really just small dark colored features that begin to be formed when sunshine falls on carbon dioxide deposited during the planet's winter months. The
Okay.
light causes the carbon dioxide ice at the bottom of the deposits to turn into gas, which eventually bursts through the ice. That can be up to 3 feet thick, shooting dust out in geyser-like blasts before setting on the surface, the space agency said. Well, the spots might look
That
tiny
went
for
that
space.
your hope of aliens went away real quick, huh?
No, I don't have hope of aliens. I don't think aliens exist.
They're
on our
actually
planet.
fairly large. The ESA said that the patches are as small as 145 feet wide at their largest, might be over half a mile wide. Below those large spots, the arachnid-like patterns is carved beneath the carbon dioxide ice.
That's weird.
And this is
Yeah.
why I don't fuck with space, guys.
I want to go to space. Did you guys ever watch that Three Body Problem show
Nah, I didn't.
that everyone was
start
talking
it.
about? It's pretty good. Did you watch it, Jay? Are you the one who
Yeah, I
told me
never
about it,
finished
right?
it. Yeah.
No, you haven't finished it yet?
No.
Oh,
There's
shit.
another one about the asteroid. If you pull up that one about the asteroid, this motherfucker is like the size of Florida, basically. Huge, right? This is 174 miles and then
Is it
200
something
in
that you
length.
said, or
Bro, they're saying they want to bring this down towards Earth because it like contains a bunch of metals though, like nickel, iron, gold, and all kinds of shit. It's like
are you talking
10
about the-
quadrillion dollars worth
Yeah.
of fucking. I posted the article on there.
I think I've read that before.
So and then so they're saying that this whole mission that they went out there to take pictures of this, and this mission is gonna be done by like 2035, like when the rocket is gonna return back. NASA was very much saying that
They're not getting shit.
they're saying they want to harvest that asteroid.
The only reason I brought up the Three Body Problem was the whole thing about the thing I just posted in the Discord on predictability. It's weird to watch it.
We'll pull it up. Let's watch it.
It's just
Let's
like
watch
this
it and give our reaction.
circular thing on a pendulum. Basically, because the whole thing of a three body problem is you'll never be able to predict what's happening. The whole thing is like they have these three suns in their solar system that they can't predict how the gravity's gonna pull them and all this shit. But it never
Never repeats itself.
it never has a pattern. Yeah. you'll never be able to predict what it's gonna do. So here it says, if there was only a page to simplifying science content, the double pendulum chaos demonstration demonstrating unpredictability. It's kind of weird to watch because you kind of nowadays you have this idea of like, computers will be able to predict anything.
You know what that reminds me
right?
of?
But you there's certain problems you can't.
That
that's
reminds me of
true.
the old DVD Idol, where it bounces on the screen, and you just never know where it's gonna go.
Yeah, because there was a thing with pi number.
That's funny as fuck.
There was the whole thing with the pi number, like it's never ending, and then somebody did some sort of a math thing, and they said, well, there's an end to it. I don't know.
No, so the whole point of pi is that there's no end to it. So I remember we talked about this on the pod a long time ago. Yeah.
So, but basically, what I'm trying to say, recently people have been coming in math and saying we've solved this, we've solved that, we solved this, we've solved that. So eventually they'll figure it out.
You think so? I think that's the whole premise in physics is
See?
around a three-body problem is the unpredictability.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so if pi has an infinite decimal representation, this is not settled infinitely repeating pattern of digits. There are several proofs that pi is irrational. Yeah.
Yeah, but eventually they will be able to figure it out, right?
No, so the whole point of pi is that it's irrational and it's an infinite. You would never be able to figure it out.
Well, so far we don't know, right? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm saying the whole premise behind it, the whole purpose.
No, I get
is
it.
That there is no ending.
Pi is finite, where its expression is infinite. Pi has a finite value between 3 and 4.
Right.
Precisely more than 3.1 than 3.15, and so on. Hence, pi is a real number, but since it is irrational, its decimal representation is endless, so we call it infinite.
Yeah.
And
and then
pi is such a cool number.
Because they're delicious.
It's cool enough they made a whole symbol for it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so is theta and any other Greek letters, right? Like there's a Greek letter.
You know which one always fucked me up? The I.
I.
That one, math. When that shit was introduced, and
This is how you know I wasn't good at math, because I don't know.
Trigonometry class, I think is what it was.
How I know that I'm not good at math is the fact that I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Bro,
right now.
when I was brought around, that's when I was like, fuck this. Because that's a whole special complicated thing on its own.
X and Y wasn't enough, so
When
they
they
had to
started-
fucking introduce an I.
Right.
When they
And then the
started
pi and
using
all the other ones.
sines and cosines and tangents, I was like, get me the fuck out of here. Get me the fuck out.
No, following the graphs wasn't that hard for me for cosine and all that shit.
See, the thing about math is, to understand math, you just have to memorize it. There's no fucking
not
way
good at
around it.
memorizing.
Just
You have to
memorizing
fucking memorize the shit out of
formulas,
it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
What
and
a formula, what, in what situation this formula applies and all these things.
And then combining several formulas together, you get an answer, right? It's not very straightforward when they throw the ball and the wrench in it, right? And a lot of times
The
in
thing
math
about
problems,
math is that you don't really get guidance on, am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Am I doing this
What
right?
do you mean in guidance?
Like,
Oh, like
you don't
there's
get a
no
step by step.
Yeah.
Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right?
Right,
You
you
could
can-
be thinking that you're doing something right, and at the end of it, you get a completely different answer.
Right, absolutely right. Because you missed one step or you didn't apply the formula correctly.
You think you're doing it right, and then
Yeah.
it turns out that you're not doing it right, and then you get explained that,
That
you're
was-
doing it wrong, and then you do it the same fucking way that you just did it because that's how you remember it.
well,
That's why I'm terrible at math.
so
know
with
exactly what
math,
you
what
mean,
happens
Miguel.
when you start math in the beginning, they break it down for you, right? But as the math progresses, they can't just sit there and break down every single thing because they'll take like
They
a
assume
year.
you don't have to know.
They
all
assume
the
you
rules.
understand how this happened,
Right.
right? So math builds
And
upon
my
each other.
teachers assumed that I understood the math and passed me, so fuck them.
Yeah. Well,
No,
they-
I mean, with math, I feel like it's all just memorizing the
Memorizing,
formulas
that's
and understanding what goes where. And I know exactly what you mean, Mickey. They used to happen to me all the time, especially it sucks too because you'll do a quiz or a test or whatever. You go through all of them like, damn, I remembered all the formulas, and then you get that shit back and it's like 33% F. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? You
Yeah.
felt so confident you did it all right, and you just fucked it all up.
yeah. That's math. And you know what's the biggest enemy for math? Is time. Like after 2 weeks, you literally forget everything that you learned. So math, you literally need to practice math on daily basis.
I'm
for you
surprised
to
like
keep it in your
your
head.
brother has been able to help my girlfriend and his wife to be able to like do stuff.
Yeah, because we're doing
he uses
basic
it.
math, right? Like we use basic
But at the
math.
same time, I talk with him about it, and he's like, "Yeah, because I still have to use this shit. I still have to know it
Yeah.
sometimes. You know, certain parts."
Yeah, so for me, a basic math is very, very easy to go through. But then when I have to look up cosines and sines and how the angles work for the triangle, like I have to like refresh myself on that, right? So, but yeah,
Alright,
go
Fuck,
go
man.
to another one.
We could do our last one here, boys.
Sure, pull up.
You guys already know what I'm bringing up.
I do.
Unhappy marriage.
We could
Do
Jay
the other
gave,
one, not
Jay
this
gave us
one.
options.
Yeah, do this one. This is shorter. If I
Five-
saw someone thinks you are attractive according to experts. So let's see.
1, they allow themselves to be vulnerable. When someone feels safe to be themselves, to be vulnerable because of how you show up, is when you know they think you're attractive.
Okay.
I don't know about it being attractive. I think that just means they feel safe.
Yeah,
Which
that could be with a
could
friend,
lead
man.
to that in a way, right?
You can be vulnerable with a friend. How many times girls will put you in a friend zone and then use you for boyfriend energy and be all vulnerable
But they're
around
not
you? Doesn't mean
attracted to you.
they're attracted to you.
Number 2, people acknowledge your presence. When you walk into a room full of people, do people stop what they're doing and give you a little look? Do they come over and say hi and introduce themselves to you? If your answer is yes, you're more attractive than you think.
Yes, but I would say if you want to look for an attraction cue, unless it's talking about not pair attraction, just general attraction. But if you're looking for an attraction clue, if a girl or a guy, in my opinion, like when they see you, they seem excited, and it's not someone that you know, then that would be a cue.
Number 3, their curiosity about your dreams grows.
Mm.
You may be in situations where you want to know if someone thinks you're attractive, and however, focusing just on that isn't going to attract a great person into your life. Think about the kind of person you want to be with, not just their looks. Attraction based on looks only is superficial. You want to connect with people who are attracted to you as a person and want to get to know who you are. Subtle sign can be curiosity about who you are, your dreams, your interests, and what makes you happy. You deserve to connect with someone who you both are attracted to. You, you both are attracted to each other, who could be your
Pero
first
says
and
flat Earth.
potential partner.
Oh, Mauricio, don't start.
Number 4, they're almost magnetically drawn to you. A positive, strong aura is one of the most important yet subtlest signs that transforms someone into a magnet. Everyone wishes to speak with. Because of a positive, strong aura, someone may be attracted to you if they freely try to be near or do not move away from being in close physical proximity to you. An example of this would be if they initiate or maintain proximity. Subconsciously imitating your actions, such as your posture, gestures, or speech patterns, can indicate you're attractive to someone. In addition to indicating rapport, it is a type of nonverbal flattery. And number 5, people get lost in your eyes. Mutual eye contact can mean either respect or admiration. And if you pay close attention, you can tell which one it is based on how different people look at you. Think about it. There's a reason why we like to lock eyes on those we love. First of all, we tend to look at the things we like. This is where one of the best signs you're a hot girl and that someone finds you attractive is that you frequently catch their gaze from across a room full of people.
Something I've noticed about the eye contact thing is not necessarily about this article being attractive and stuff, but most people are awkward with eye contact.
They are.
Right? Like, and especially if you're talking directly at them and you're going
Yeah.
eye to eye. I have like within the last year have calloused myself with that.
Yeah.
And man, it's funny how much I notice other people feeling awkward because
They
I'm
do.
like locking
They
eyes.
do.
And
Just like
not locking eyes, but keeping like see something I used to do to show my attention to someone but not lock eyes because I felt awkward about it was look at their mouth versus their eyes.
Yeah.
So looking at your mouth, I was able to keep engagement in the conversation without initiating an awkwardness on my behalf. Right now, I've gotten used to being locked on eyes, and it doesn't bother me, but it usually bothers other people.
now it's just
they get
now it's
weird
just a little
about
bit
it.
more romantic.
They get weird about
They
it.
do get weird about it, so you have to
And
know
I
when
think
to
it's funny.
break eye
I
contact
don't
and then
give a
bring
shit.
it back.
I don't give a shit.
Then you come off as a serial killer, bro.
No, I don't care.
You're just
I'm done. I'm
Yeah,
done with
you
that
make-
anymore now. I
make
feel like I
people
look more
uncomfortable.
serious that way. When
Yeah,
you're-
serious
you're-
about to choke him.
Oh shit! Alrighty, guys. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Don't forget about our official
Like,
sponsors,
subscribe, please.
UFC Gym Largo, Vitality Wellness Center, guys. And thank you everyone for joining us in the chat. Peruano, my dad, Ron, who else? Emily, my mom. That's about it. Thank you guys for joining us in the chat. Talking shit with us is always welcome and giving us topics and stuff. What was he saying? Yeah, Stake is no longer, which used to be Alfa Romeo. Audi is taking their spot. Yep, you're absolutely right. I was wrong about. I thought it was Williams that was leaving, which I'm not surprised because Williams should be done. But they've been on a shit for 300 something races. I was watching Drive to Survive today actually on that F1 series. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us.